Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 wrap-up of Jumping at Willinga. Oh my goodness, what a day. I've still got goosebumps thinking about it. It has just been show jumping like we haven't seen in this country for such a long time. But to go through all the action, not just of the teams event, which we're going to talk to, it's great to welcome my good mate, co-host again, Dave Cameron. Welcome back.
Cheers, Timmy. Good to be here, mate.
What a day.
Awesome day of show jumping, mate.
It has just been phenomenal to watch what's happened here today. I believe the sport has changed.
No, it sure has, and there was so much hype about this team's competition, and it really started off with a bang today, Timmy.
And the atmosphere here was electric. The trade stalls are buzzing. You know what's great too? They're all saying they're having a good show, and that means that people are enjoying themselves. The food stalls are all having to reorder more food, and it's only the weekdays. We've still got Saturday and Sunday to go.
That's right. No, we've got 2 big days to come.
We're going to talk in depth about the team's event, because who would have ever predicted MC Apparel team, Amanda Madigan, Jess Tripp and Jess Rice-Ward would be walking home with $40,000. Amazing class. But we kicked off this morning at 7:30 with the first of our junior qualifiers for our riders until the year of their 18th birthday, and it was so good. She won here yesterday. She wins again today. Sally Simmons, Oaks Chifley, class act, class rider.
Yeah, no, she's a little winner, Sal. Like as you said, she won the first class yesterday, and she won the first junior. But yeah, she did it very easily, and you know, she's very fast, extremely competitive. It was great to see.
Dave, we talked at length last night about the lines on the arena. The sand seems to have done the trick. It doesn't look as pretty. People might be at home thinking, what are these guys doing? They've got these strips of sand, but it's done the job.
Yeah, no, you're dead right, Timmy. It's made a big difference. You know, there was not a horse today that was having the issues that they had yesterday, and you know, it went from being something that was very much talked about yesterday to something we didn't talk about at all.
Forgotten. You know, it is great to see an action go to fruition. Huge thanks to Chris Chugg. He came to me with the idea, to yourself, to Kermo, to George Sanner. They were sort of the people we turned to for some advice. And, you know, everyone has an opinion, but I think we've come up trumps. And Sal here, I mean, this horse is quick, isn't it?
No, it's very, very fast. Doesn't spend a heap of time in the air. And she's a quick rider. Like, she doesn't just win on this one, she wins on a number of horses.
So we then went straight through to the Futurity Championship. Billy Raymond, YPH Capulet. Again, this horse, I watched it up at Gatton and thought, hey, we've got ourselves a second team's horse, is what I thought, and it's just showing its time in the ring.
You know, it's an interesting horse, this. It's very fast, it's got a really good technique, and you know, with Billy on board, it's going to be very, very competitive. But this was a red-hot class. There was some really good combinations that went pretty fast. Like, to win a ribbon in this class, you had to go fairly hard.
There's going to be a great final here tomorrow, the Futurity final. We've got the Young Rider final, $5,000 up for grabs. But take the field of 60-odd horses, throw our names up there and pluck one out, because everything is competitive.
Yeah, no, it's a really red-hot field, and with $5,000 at stakes, you know, everyone's going to be having a crack. Like, you know, most Futurities might be $1,000 or $1,500 to win, but $5,000, it's you know, it's definitely worth having a go, that's for sure, Timmy. $
15,000 across the class as well, so there's $10,000 to place down the places. So, you know, if you're in it, you're going to be happy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Billy's had a super show. We then moved straight into the Grand Prix warm-up class. So this was maybe a little lighter field. I think we ended up with 20 horses. Still had 30. So that means we've got 50 horses here on the park that want to jump 140 or plus. I mean, that's a fair effort in itself.
And that's the difference with the jumping in Australia now. You know, we've got a lot more horses and a lot more depth at that higher heights, which is, you know, great for the sport.
Love this horse, owned by Pauline and Kevin Thomas, Brookie Langbecker's grandparents, and Tom has just clicked with this horse, hasn't he?
He has. He's turned into a very, very handy horse, and he's interesting. When he sort of jumps the first couple well, you know, he's very safe, and he looked like that today. He jumped the first fence well, and he continued like that.
It's going to be a horse that we really need to keep an eye on, not just into the future, but right now, because it's careful, as you say. It's quick. You can run it down to something just like that, but then it lands and turns.
That's right, and I'm pretty sure he's already got his half MER, so
it did jump clear at Gat. So you're right.
It's you know, one for the bigger classes also, and it'll be in play in the last day in the Grand Prix.
It is just such exciting. Those 3 classes this morning, they set the world alight as it was. Then we started this big hype. We've had the showmakers, equestrian, Steve Dundon and the production team here. There's cameras everywhere. There's guys in blue suits running around. They're trying to get all this footage because they want to turn this into a TV show, Clear Round, on Channel 7. And that is super exciting in itself for the sport, the Teams League, Australian Jumping Teams League on free-to-air TV.
That's for sure, mate. We've been saying for years that we really need this sport to be on TV. We need eyes watching it, and this Teams League is going to give us that. And it's great to have Steve Dundon's team on board. They do a really good job. They did a great job of jump off, and they'll do a good job with this. And you know, it'll be a really good stepping stone for this sport for the future.
4 shows, 8 episodes. It'll be playing later, early next year, I do believe, as the finishes up at SIAC at the end of the year at the Summer Classic. So the next leg of the Teams League will roll on to the indoor arena at SIAC. We then go down into Victoria to Sail World Cup and finish at the Summer Classic in December. 3 legs still to go. The competition, electric. As we said, I still have goosebumps now. I don't think I've been that nervous and that excited watching a class in the past.
No, I agree, Timmy. And the hype around the ground, it was a really good day for Australian show jumping.
Well, before we get into too much detail about who did what and how they did it, I caught up with a man by the name of Hamish Douglas, and he wants to talk a little bit about the Teams League. This was taught just before the class. Later on today, we have the first leg of the Australian Jumping Teams League. It's an amazing competition, 10 teams, 30 riders. Today, they'll be competing for $100,000, $480,000 in the total competition. And one of the major driving forces behind this competition is Hamish Douglas. And Hamish, firstly, welcome here to Willinga.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Great to be here.
Mate, a lot of people might be out there going, we know Amelia Douglas, but who is Hamish Douglas and why is he involved in the sport of show jumping?
Well, I really want to do something to make a difference. This isn't about me, Tim, at all. I've been very lucky, very fortunate in life. I've got a great business. It's called Magellan. But I have got a daughter who rides. But we've got a lot of friends in the sport. And we've travelled overseas and we've seen what people have done offshore. And we have a lot of young riders who are leaving the sport. So a lot of inspiration is how do we give an opportunity for people to stay in the sport and keep those young riders, those 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. We see so much talent coming through the sport, but then people leave. So we thought the concept of a team that had to have an under-25 rider would really give the opportunity for more people to stay and grow in this great sport, in this great community.
I love the concept of an under-25s rider because I think it throws the cat among the pigeons, for using a phrase. There's going to be some pressure on those young ones, but this is what they need to thrive in the sport.
Yeah, there is going to be pressure. It's deliberately set at 1.40 to 1.45, so it's right at the top of that young rider sort of level. It's at that mini pre level, so it's going to stretch those young riders. But that's going to force the development in the sport. People are going to want to be in young rider, stay in young rider, not leave juniors. And after when they leave young riders, there's still another 4 years post young riders for really trying to get one of these spots in the team.
Now, you have a team, Team Chatham Park. You've teamed up with George Sanna. The man is absolutely a miracle worker in this game of this sport. He's been at the top of the game. We rattled off names. I was talking a little earlier. The names like Edwina Alexander. She trained with George Sanna. Amber Fuller, the current Australian champion. She started with George, I think, when she was 16 or 17 years of age. In more recent history, we look at someone like Jamie Winning or also Julia Lynch. It was Julia Hargraves. Go back a little bit. You had Lauren Hartog. You had Emily Blinkworth. He has an eye for picking riders and taking them to the top of the sport.
He absolutely does, Tim. He has an eye for not just picking riders, he has an eye for picking horses. If you go around and you see some of the great horses that have come around, a lot of them have been actually picked by George and bought for people. There are so many horses around that he's picked, but his coaching skills are off the charts, Tim.
He is a phenomenal coach. You've got the Team Chatham Park. Obviously, in the teams competition, you and I are arch rivals. I'm a team manager for Team Willinga Park, but Chatham Park are a very strong team. You must be pleased with the group you've got together.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with the group we've got together, but actually I'm very pleased of all the teams. The strength of the team, the Willinga Park team is incredible, but we could list another 5 or 6 or 7 teams. It's very hard to pick who's going to win this. We're very pleased that Tom McDermott has joined Team Chatham Park. The rest of the riders, of course, are riders who ride at Chatham Chatham Park. Of course, Amber Fuller, the current Australian champion, Kate Hinchin, who's an absolute one of the young talents of the sport, and my own daughter Amelia, who's coming through as one of the great young riders, I hope. But of course, Tom's joined the team, and Tom is a real talent in this sport.
He most certainly is. Well, we wish you the best of luck. I must say, I've not got a daughter who's 19, but I've got a 3-year-old. Your daughter is one of the nicest girls. We love seeing Amelia at the shows. She's always smiling, always friendly, and I hope she goes well today, and I hope you're sitting in second place behind Team Willinga.
Let the best team win.
Well, the competition is on. Of course, we'll be having all the action here in the main arena. As Hamish said, anyone's game. And Dave Cameron, who would have picked? You would have had to have said going into today it was going to be Equine International Air Freight, Chatham Park, Willinga Park and Yandu. I think you could have asked, without being rude, anyone around the grounds today, and MC probably would have come up 1 in 10 as the team that they thought was going to win.
Oh, 100%, Tim. And, even just on form, you could say that. Like the 3 girls that jumped clean rounds, they didn't jump a clean round yesterday. So it was pretty amazing that they came out and pulled it out today when it counted.
So they've won, but let's just go for a second and talk about the concept of this, because we keep saying we want to change the sport. Is this the answer? Is this our 2020 cricket or our fast speed netball?
I think it is. It's entertaining for the crowd to watch. It's something we can package with television, and most importantly, we can get corporate sort of sponsorship behind it, which I think is what our sport's really lacked.
You know what I reckon, Dave? It brings that whole uncertainty. 17-year-old Jess Rice-Ward today cantered into the ring knowing she had to jump clean, and she did it. That uncertainty, and I'm not being rude to Jess because we know she's got nerves of steel, but this under 25 rider is the key to the excitement, and it means that riders have a lifespan in there before they have to step into senior ranks. So there's always going to be fresh faces coming in.
100%. That opportunity that Jess got today is something that our young riders just haven't got in the past, and it's so important. That experience to ride under proper pressure in a team situation when there's big money, big stakes, and it's fantastic, and it'll make her into a rider. It'll make a number of young riders into elite riders later on. So yeah, it was awesome to see.
So the final wrap-up was in third place, Willinga Park. Billy and Brooke and Katie rode for us. Katie, very unlucky, Dave, to have that first fence down, first horse out.
Yeah, she was, and I'm going to say it. She did get held a little in the ring, and so her staying
by my staff.
I think we blame Tim, but her staying just switched off a little bit, and then he had the first fence down. It was unlucky, but to the team's credit, they fought, and then they put some really good rounds on the board and some really good jump-off rounds, and all of a sudden we're in the mix.
6th place after the first round. They finished in 3rd. A great effort from those guys. And I was talking to Billy earlier. I haven't really talked to you, Dave, but watch this space. I think that team's got a really good place to go within the sport.
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of depth, and I think Brooke, we've said it before, I think Brooke's the key. She's really strong as our under-25 rider. She's got a number of horses. I think that's going to be useful. And just watching her today was very exciting to be part of that team. And I was pretty lucky. I got a check and didn't have to ride.
It's not bad, is it? You get a winner's check for cheering them on site.
I'll take it.
In 2nd place, the team Yandu, and absolutely loved these guys. Sitting around the ring, there was about 15 people all wearing a white hat. And I went to put one on, and Kerry said, "You put that hat on, you've got to pay us money," because they're all owners. They've split this team ownership significantly. There's a lot of people involved, and they were on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, no, it's you got to probably give a lot of credit to Jamie Winning for that. She's very good at building a bit of atmosphere and a bit of a team, and the hats was a fantastic idea, and it was great to see the whole team behind their riders. And they all felt like they were part of it because they actually are.
They've got a vested interest now, and this is what gets people involved. It's why racing works, because people want to have a little stake in the game. This is the key. What about this horse though, Dave? Mel Blair, 4 years ago was the Australian Amateur Champion. She's now jumping in the teams event, one of the biggest competitions in Australia for 2019.
Yeah, no, look, Mel's put on some really good performance in the recent times, and she's a real competitor, and I think that horse is, Zadora is a real good horse for this format. It's careful, it's quick, it's always going to be competitive.
Unfortunate to have the first down in the 2nd round. Genius stroke from Jamie Winning Kermond. She's good at rallying people. She's picked the right people to put herself. We knew Maddie Cinderberry was out. She's trains with you. Yeah. That horse we knew early was a problem. Jim doesn't go for Australian young rider because she's thinking, well, most of those have been snapped up by others. She goes to New Zealand and gets their best rider.
Yeah, no, definitely thinking outside the box. And I had spent a bit of time with Briar in Argentina last year at the Youth Olympics, and I think probably Maddie could probably claim a little bit of the credit. They're quite good friends, so I'm sure they talked. And anyway, this is what's happened, and it's a fantastic thing. But she's a great girl, Briar, and a really serious rider. So it's great that she's coming part of it, and she got here straight off the plane and pulled out a clear round. Pretty cool.
And super job from her. So she's here for the next leg as well, I do believe. And so she's sticking around for a couple of weeks. And then Kermo, nerves of steel. I bet he wishes he could play golf as well as he can show jump, because this guy is a freak.
I haven't seen Kerm go this fast for about 4 years, so it was pretty cool to see. He had a real task at hand to get in front of Willinga. He had to post the quickest round of the day.
Yeah, he had to go sub 51 seconds. Katie was the only rider to do that. He had to do a 50.19.
Yep.
Nappa's not known for speed. Like, this horse is built for comfort, not for speed.
He's not the fastest horse in the class, but Kern probably is the fastest rider. So no, it was very cool to see, and to get in front of Team Willinga with this sort of round is sort of deserved, I think.
You know what I'm so excited about, because Kerm is such a good rider. He said today, that's the most fun I've had competing as long as I can remember. And that, to me, is the other answer there. If Kerm's having fun, he's going to train his horses better. Australian riders are going to be having fun. They're going to up the ante.
Exactly, because that enjoyment goes back to the rest of the team, the owners, the supporters, and that's a really big thing.
Now we move on to our winning team, MC Apparel. One of the only girls' teams running. One of the only teams running 2 under-25s, backing themselves in there. And a little birdie told me, I'm pretty sure it's one of the few self-funded teams as well.
Really?
So they've actually bought their way in. And, credit where credit's due. Amanda Madigan comes out first, puts a clear round on the board, and the girls follow her.
I think it's a really smart move by MC having Amanda Madigan in the team. She's got loads of experience, and she's a great person to be around in a competition environment. Big rap today has to go to Jen Wood on the ground. I think she's a very supportive little person, and she was very much a team player. But I don't know if the cameras caught it, but in the beginning before this class, there was a bit of a mix-up with the saddle cloths for Amanda. So she was under a fair bit of pressure, and there were some heated moments in the team. So for her to come out and perform like she did was pretty cool. And this is it's a fantastic horse.
I said to Amanda, why wouldn't you have gone last? You've got worlds of experience. I mean, without being rude, she's probably double Jess Rice Ward's age, like I am. So
you're brave, Timmy. You're very brave.
But let's be honest, and I'll cop that, Amanda, if I'm wrong. But she said, no, I'm going to go first because I wanted to ride the track. I could then come back, report to the girls. We could nurse and manage. Jessie Tripp, absolute amazing technician, but she said, look, I think I'll be nervous going third. And Jess Rice Ward said, put me where you want.
No problem.
Jess Tripp today, in my mind, grew tenfold. What a great ride from this girl.
And she's a former Australian junior champion, Jess. She's been known to pull out good performances when it counts. And so it wasn't that surprised today that she jumped some really good rounds. Diamond B Verona, it's a really very consistent horse and a good horse, and they're a great combination. So it was a good 2 rounds today.
Really nice for Helen Chugg with Diamond B to have 2 Diamond B horses in the lineup in that winning team. I'm sure we'll see a post on Facebook. And Helen, you should, because you should be proud.
Mate, there's normally a Diamond B horse in most lineups, so we're not surprised.
But this girl here, 17 years of age, she is got nerves of steel. There was more pressure. You could have cut the air with a knife this afternoon.
Yeah, no, all credit to Jessie. She's worked very hard over the last few years, and she's in a real purple patch at the moment. She won the Mini Prix at Waratah last week. She won the 1-star at Jump Club Champs, and then she pulled out this performance today. It was really, really something special.
When you're on, isn't it? You sort of get that roll on, everything seems to click, you see the right distance, you get there correctly, and it all just happens.
Exactly, and I think for Jessie, what I'm always, pretty excited for her to see is not how she performs in the ring, but sometimes she fights back if something goes wrong. She's tough, and you see down there, she had to do a little bit more to make it work, and she does.
Well, mate, she comes from Dubbo originally, so, anyone born west of the Great Divide, they breed them tough out there.
Exactly, Central West, mate.
Mate, I don't know whether you can pick up. Obviously, I'm still on a buzz. It was such an amazing day and such a phenomenal class.
Oh, unbelievable, Tim. You know, everyone around the ground were just walking around going, this is fantastic for the sport, you know, and it's only going to get better. Like, this is the first one.
I spoke to Terry, obviously our owner, earlier on this evening. He can't wait to see the next leg. And, you know, Terry loves his camp drafting. He enjoys dressage. He hasn't had a real passion for show jumping. Tonight he said, yeah, when's that next class? I think I might come with you to SIAC. That, to me, means we're on the right path.
Oh, that's for sure, Timmy, you know.
Now, it was such a phenomenal class. We actually send our crew out to grab some footage of all the highlights from the Australian Jumping Teams League competition held here today.
One fence left to go. If she can jump this clear, we will have our winner of the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, MC Apparel cannot be beaten. 6 rounds of show jumping, clear all 6 times. They take the lead. They cannot be knocked off the perch here this afternoon.
Chucky Wood there with the fist pump at the end just sums it up.
Yeah, exactly.
What a class, what a day.
That's MC team right there. That's what it looked like all day.
Well, the next leg will be taking place up on the 2nd of October. Call out to SIAC if you can that Tuesday afternoon. But Dave, we still had another class to pick ourselves back up for, and sometimes that can be hard, but the young riders did an amazing job here for the Pride's Easy Feed Young Rider. And my favourite horse, Ree and I owned this horse, and you and Tal approached us about purchasing it for Izzy a couple of years ago now, and she and you guys at Red Leaf have done a superb job in producing a fair dinkum horse, because he was a 7-year-old when you bought him and he was jumping 120s.
Yeah, no, he's a little ripper, and I'm glad we made that phone call and asked if you'd sell him.
Yeah,
and,
I'm still not so glad whether I am or not. It breaks my heart every time I see him go.
I think more so that Ree's never forgive you. But you know, he's been a great horse for Izzy, and Izzy's one of the nicest girls in show jumping, so it's always really good to see her do well. And she jumped a very good round today, and they'll set her up really good for the final on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be a great class for her. In fact, the final is tomorrow for the young riders.
Sorry, Timmy, I didn't look at the program.
You're right. No, not at all. It's been a big day for everyone. But she won the first class, Sally Simmons. Hey, this horse is not the easiest. Sherman, I mean, we know Brooke Campbell's had him for a little while. There's been Toddy Hine rode him for a while.
The great Toddy Hine rode him, yeah.
You know, like this horse has been to a few riders, and to hop on after your brother Clay, who is just textbook professional. Sal has done a super job with Oaks Costanza.
Yeah, no, she has. So she won the first class of the day and she won the last. So she's had a pretty good day too, Sal. But no, she did a real good job on Sherman. She rode him, I think, for the first time at Waratah, and it was only a few weeks ago. And, you know, they've really come together pretty good. And, no, she's done a really good job on him. I'm sure Clay wouldn't do it, but he should ring his sister and thank him for the schooling.
Yeah. It's lovely for Alice as well, Oak Sport Horses. Of course, they're one of our wonderful sponsors here at Willinga Park. In Ring 2, we had all of our thoroughbred classes. We're actually going to do a little special piece on our thoroughbreds before the show is out because it's been so wonderful having those and to have those 4, 5 and 6-year-old classes down in Ring 2. Nice bright gear's been lovely as well.
You know, it's brand new gear and there's been some really good jumping in that ring. Countless clear rounds and some solid jumping. I think one thing in that ring has been really good is the children's classes. They've been really well supported and a great concept and something that, it's awesome to have this show.
Watch this space because we have been trailing a few of those children riders, so we'll be seeing a little bit more of them. Of course, Dave, we've still got 2 days, the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We thought today was big. It grows up from here. Tonight, most of our riders are already enjoying the pool for the Willinga Park pool party. A little bit of a later start tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think that half an hour later is going to be much enjoyed, Timmy. They've been a big couple of days, but I feel like we're just gaining momentum. I think it's going to lead in the weekend. There's some really good jumping and a great time had at Willinga Park.
So tomorrow we kick off at 8 o'clock. Check your guide. We will be posting times as we get a little bit closer. We look to be hoping to start the Young Rider and Futurity as our 2 main classes tomorrow. They'll be in the middle of the day. And then tomorrow afternoon, we have the final of the classes in Ring 1, the first time we see the Mini Prix horses. And then it's finals on Sunday. The Grand Prix, 12:30 here on Sunday. $70,000 up for grabs. One rider goes home $25,000 richer.
Timmy, big time, big money.
It is, as Brett Hickey would say, big time, big money. Mate, we've had a look at the team's event today. A little bit of a different course for Sunday. Give me your first thoughts on who you think's your Grand Prix winner.
For the Grand Prix,
David Cameron, Finch Farm Clifford.
That'd be nice. 25k, very handy. But no, look, I think Kerm looked really good today. You know, he Constellation jumped really well. It was very fast, and when the jumps were a few holes bigger on Sunday, I think he's going to be tough to beat. Also, you can't get past Billy Raymond. He had a fantastic show at Waratah. He won the World Cup with Anton. He had a really good show on him at Adelaide Royal only a couple of weeks ago, and he'll be very tough to beat too. But mate, it's anyone's game. There's a lot of good horses this show and a lot of riders in form.
So tomorrow, check your guides. Make sure you tune in 8 o'clock. But from here at Willinga Park, Dave, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do all of this again tomorrow night.
Sounds good, Timmy.
I hope you can join us again. But from here at Willinga Park, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tim Drevman. Tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock.